podcast.
No.
Drop the first 2 episodes. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, and then y'all tell me whether or not y'all find it interesting or not.
A lot of people have questions they want to know, especially when they see somebody of note with a platform who, you know, by every measure looks successful. The first question is how? I think this podcast, first and foremost, gives us an opportunity to hear from folks. You know, we're going to be taking, you know, questions from listeners who are going through some things and just need a little advice. They want to hear from people in conversations, and folks are looking for a place where they can just they can hear stories. You know, I mean, what I realize is, like, by sharing some of these stories, you know, it always taps into something from somebody else. People, you know, they want to hear some honest kind of conversation about how people are working it through. And we don't have all the answers, you know. I mean, this show isn't about us being experts at anything other than the lives that we've lived. But what we do have are a lot of opinions.
All right, I'm gonna fast forward it a little bit so you can see the beginning, maybe the first 2 minutes of their podcast. So it's the first couple minutes of episode 1.
It's really exciting to be working with you on this project.
You know, some people react like, you're doing a podcast with your brother.
Why would you do that?
I know, really. But our dynamic is so, in my view, unique. I think there are plenty of siblings who have great relationships. But, you know, I think when we think back to where that came from, I think about just the physical closeness that we had. I mean, we weren't wealthy.
Right.
And Dad was working class. We lived in the same apartment our whole lives and had to grow into that. And as a result, you and me, we were physically close growing up.
Remember when we used to share a bedroom?
Of course, that was our life growing up. We shared the same room until you went to high school, right?
That's right.
Well, let's first just recall how small the apartment we lived in. You know, it seemed like it was huge, but it was essentially 2 bedrooms, right?
No, it was 1 bedroom.
Well, that little offshoot bedroom that Mom and Dad stayed in, you would consider that a bedroom.
But that was the only bedroom. The room we were in was actually the living room. And the living room what we called the living room was actually the dining room.
Huh. Okay. All right. So that's how small it was.
How small
we had to turn it into something else. But the biggest room was always ours.
Yes.
And we were little, like baby littles.
Like 5 and 3.
The twin beds were head to head with like an end table in between.
And we had matching spreads.
Yeah, that Mom made. They were these
sewed them.
Big, bold stripes, and the twin beds were up against the wall. And she had the concept of creating like these little padding boards.
Yes.
Please.
You don't hear any more, Slimmy? I was gonna play like a couple minutes, Slimmy. Let me play a little bit more. Let me play a little bit more.
You know, she was so crafty. So she created these foam pads that she hung along the side to make them decorative, but to also provide us with a little cushion against the wall, which we thought was so cool.
I remember you had a bed guard because you were so little.
Yeah, I sort of remember that, yeah.
You still probably should have been in a crib.
Maybe so, but yeah, I do remember.
You remember that?
You guys would tell me I'd fall out of the bed, start crying, get put back in the bed.
All right, so considering what you guys see here, how do you feel about the entertainment value of Michelle Obama and Craig Robinson's new podcast, and then B, whether or not you think it's successful in its launch?
Well, I already cheated and saw that it had 103,000 views in one day, so I was right.
Did you watch the whole thing?
We all know this.
This is the first part that I didn't watch any of it.
Well, when they were
we all predicted.
They only had 25K because a lot of outlets were trying to see what they were going to bring in while they were live, and it was 20. They only had 25K on there.
Why'd you say
Well,
only?
we already
Why'd you
all
say only?
predicted that the
25K,
curiosity
like 25K
aspect,
and a lot of people.
the curiosity aspect of it was going to generate a lot of visibility, especially on the first or second episode and stuff like that. So I'm not surprised if they do 100,000 plus, 200,000 plus on their first episode and all of that other stuff. But aside from that, let's answer the first question first. What do y'all think about the entertainment aspect of it?
It's boring as fuck.
All that trauma. They
Like, why
fall
are
off
they
the bed
talking
as a
to each
kid. They sleep in
other?
the dining room.
Yeah,
I
like, why are
can't
they
even get
talking
their
to each
story
other about?
straight.
Yeah, it's weird. It's fucking weird. Like, remember the beds and they were
Tomatoes.
together? It's fucking weird as shit.
And then it's like when some people are so rich and so rich for so long, they have nothing to talk about. Like their life is boring. They had nothing to talk about. They didn't even, she can't even remember how her, let me stop. Let me
She went
stop.
back to what, 1955?
That's
She
rude.
don't know where they slept. I thought she said house and then she changed to apartment. I don't know. I can't. I can't. I just
When does
can't.
the dining room have a door? I was trying to visualize that. She's
Maybe in
like, oh,
Chicago it do. I don't. Good luck
okay.
to that
Um,
audience. I think it's some
Okay.
you
people that
know,
will support
the
it.
other thing that I liked and I try to do with my kids,
It wasn't gonna be good for my first wife. So I was trying to hold off telling everybody.
I just wanted to play a little bit more audio just in case y'all wanted to hear some more from it.
They're doppelgangers. Like they sound the same. They look the same.
What's wrong with
They
her
go
mouth?
on to have some conversations, a couple conversations. One of the things that they say, and I want to get Keri and Slimmy in here too. One of the things that they were saying was she was saying that she didn't want Barack Obama to run for president and she wasn't going to support him until Barack Obama went to her brother and asked him to convince her to not limit him and his ability and his, what he was great and chosen to do. But she was never really on board from the beginning and stuff like that. So
That's because she's a political pick. He was married to that nice white woman. Well, he was about to get married to that nice white woman, and then he wanted to run, and he had to go get Michelle.
What's Michelle and her brother's age difference?
I have no idea.
You
They
said one of them was
mentioned it
3
in the
and one of them was
beginning.
5. So if my
Yeah, I think it
math
was like,
serves, is 2 years.
yeah.
2?
Keri, what are your thoughts on
I
this?
think they're about. So I watched the whole thing. I didn't know that. I forgot that they launched 2 episodes, but I don't know if I could have did 2 in one day. But
Couldn't.
but,
Nigga.
I'll watch number 2 tomorrow. I mean, I don't know. I don't know yet. I think that somebody said this on Tuesday that she'll probably play it safe, if you want to call it that. I think that we kind of have to see what direction it goes in, but I still think that this is something that she just wants to be doing. I think she wants to be able to speak. She even talks about it. She's like, she did the book tour, she did different empowerment types of things, and she just wants to be able to connect with people more easily, where they can send in their questions. She thinks that a lot of people don't necessarily have a person, they don't necessarily have somebody they can go to get insight, to get their opinions, and they realize that some of the things that they grew up knowing and learning and all of that people could benefit from in a nutshell. I do think that if they keep doing it, depending on their guests, that it could be good depending on who's there. Their conversation with one another was kind of.
What was your impression of it when you listened to what they were saying?
My impression was that they really didn't know. They're not clear of their target audience, and they're trying to connect with like the average person, which is why I think they spent so much time about their childhood to show that they came from middle, like working class, and they didn't have a lot.
Did you like
So
it? Were you entertained?
I was, I floated through. I
I don't
wasn't
know what that means,
entertained.
Keri. I don't know what that means, Keri.
It wasn't bad to the point where I was like, I just can't watch this. But it was like, you
Tomato.
touch the screen,
As a
you touch the
person that
screen
is
to see
used to,
like how much more
let
time
me
on the
frame the
bar.
question. Let me frame the question a little bit better. As a person now that,
Entertaining, no.
as a person that podcasts, as a person that creates content, that understands content because you've been in it for a little while, and what is your view? What is your view from that lens?
From the
You
lens of
mute.
being on, I'm
Go ahead.
muted.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead.
My lens of being on like this type of a show is, yeah, it wasn't entertaining, but I don't always a lot I watch a lot of different channels and a lot, you know what I'm saying? So I would not put them in this, I wouldn't put them in the entertainment bucket per se. It would more so be, oh, they're interviewing such and such, I'm interested in their story, because there's certain channels that I'll watch purely because of who the guest is. And I think if they have any success, it'll be based off of who their guests are, not because people just want to hear from Michelle and what's his name, Craig.
Mm.
So that's what I think.
Slimmy, thoughts?
They use bots to get the numbers up.
Mhm.
Nah,
Well,
because
no,
when I went
Slimmy,
on
a
there,
lot of the people in the comments, though, not to cut you off, but a lot of people in the comments, like, they're like, I didn't even watch it. I came for the comments. So
yeah,
I don't know if you come if you come onto somebody's channel, but you don't hit play or you don't let it play, does YouTube collect that as a view?
Well, when I reviewed it, when I first watched it, it had been out for 8 hours. All right. Um, and it does get counted as a view. I had watched it about 8 hours after it dropped. It was only about 8,000 views on the first episode, and it was like 4,000 on the second episode. I came back just right now before the start of this live stream, and it was at like close to 100,000 for the first episode. And so I also know that a lot of outlets have been talking about it, and they've been giving
I
their
saw that.
opinion about it not being good. Fox News talked about it. Patrick Bet-David talked about it and said that it was a flop. There's a lot of places that are giving their opinion of it, which I would assume that also brings visibility to that platform, whether it's good or bad, because I didn't see what everybody's review was. I only seen those two. But whether it was good or bad, I would think that then generates a lot of interest in that platform. So the numbers can jump significantly because it is getting more visibility, you know what I'm saying, and getting more buzz. So I would assume that it's a lot of people curious about it, want to see it for themselves, is driving traffic from other places and so on and so forth. So the numbers have kind of jumped significantly since I first reviewed it yesterday and today when we talking about it on the platform.
Okay. Sorry, Slimmy. Go ahead.
no, I mean I ain't got no change of view. They're not entertaining. There ain't nothing to talk about. There ain't nothing to discuss. We already knew what it was. That shit is trash. On to the next. Like it ain't. I'm starting to think like the problem with society and why things fail so much is because people feel like once they reach a certain plateau that they can do anything, and you should have that mentality, like that you can do anything, but it has to be realistic. You got to understand your parameters as far as what you are as a human being. Everybody's not fucking entertaining. Everybody can't give advice. Everybody's not in touch with the people. That shit, man, that shit was so out of touch. I don't give a fuck who they bring on that bitch. It's going to be trash. Like them talking about that bedroom, that was one of the most horrific things I've ever seen for podcasting ever. I'm just like, what is this? Why are y'all having a conversation about your childhood together? Like they probably should have did something more like this. Honestly, they probably should live stream more than anything, because them actually doing pre-recorded doesn't make sense. If you want to take questions, like they saying they want to take questions, well, do a live stream. Do a live stream. But you can't do that because you don't know how to engage. That's the problem. You're not built for a podcast, but you're not built for a live stream either, because you don't understand engagement. You can't understand that shit scrolling down so fast because you're too old. You need your fucking glasses. But, you know, it is what it is, man. Like, I don't understand why they did it. Then it's just like, maybe you trying to get Craig some visibility. He ain't coaching now. We're going to put some money in his pocket. I'm still not understanding it. And chill with the Greg Oden shit, nigga. I seen that. Cornball. You about corny as that podcast. Yeah, it's trash though. It's trash.
Any other thoughts? I personally, I predicted this. I said that it was going to be garbage. I said that it was going to be some initial curiosity to see what's happening. I think that they will be able to sustain for a little bit, because they're going to have star-studded people coming on their podcast. You know, they're going to get the who's who. You know, it kind of reminds me of the music industry. When they want to push somebody, then it's just going to get pushed. It don't matter how good they are as an artist. It doesn't matter whether or not they're relevant. And then they're going to go and get every single person that they can get, because they know nobody is going to turn down a Michelle Obama podcast. And so they're going to get all of their star-studded friends, and that's the thing that's going to drive it. I think that it'll be okay. I don't think that it's going to be good. And I don't think that they're ever going to become great podcasters. That's it. I think that you could do a lot of interviews, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're great at what you're doing. That showed the difference between, because the one with Issa Rae, it did even less numbers. The original one that they dropped, that did the most numbers, which is the one that we just watched. And then they dropped another one with Issa Rae, and that one is even less.
So they put out two?
Yeah, they put out two at once.
Yep, they put out two. So
I don't think they should have had her as the first guest. I mean, she's been on so many podcasts. She's done so many interviews. It's kind of like, what else can she really share right now that you haven't already heard?
They had to bring her in.
Well, no, they had other options.
Nah.
They had other options.
Had to bring her in. That shit, nobody was gonna watch that shit. That's why
you're saying they brought her in because they knew nobody was gonna really watch. So don't put like your best person first.
They had to pull in everything on, and they banked on is bringing in all the numbers.
Oh, you're saying that they were. So are you saying that they thought she would be a big guest coming in, or you're saying?
Yeah, they thought that was a home run bringing Issa in. They thought that was a home run, and it should be technically for what that platform is going to represent.
Why?
But they don't have engagement. They don't understand that shit. They don't understand people. You gotta be maybe Craig does, because I did actually hear him say some things, and it seemed like he was being reserved. Maybe he does because he was a basketball coach. You know what I'm saying? So he actually got to know some people. He got to know how people function in some kind of way. But his brother, hell no, that motherfucker don't know.
Whose brother? Oh, you trying, Slimmy? That's me. And that's what a bunch of people were talking about.
That's what the comments. That's all the comments
like these
said.
Two men talking. That's so rude.
All the comments was disrespectful. The comments was nasty. I ain't gonna lie. I wasn't expecting that.
Oh my God.
Do y'all think that? But that's what I'm saying, is that I believe that there is an audience that is being the initial pop in the numbers is people coming over from other platforms having conversations about them. I don't believe
Yeah.
that their audience is organically rocking with Michelle Obama.
Hell no, they coming over there to troll.
Yeah, I don't think
That's
that
what
that
those
was
most of the
numbers
people
is
who
relevant.
commented.
I don't think that those numbers are relevant. All numbers matter. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. But I don't think that people are going to be regularly tuning in, even the trolls, to tune in to see whether or not she say something relevant or not. I don't think that.
They just over there. They over there to leave a comment and bounce.
It's a lot of conservative channels that are basically reviewing it, panning it, and then people are going over there to watch and have a conversation based off of what they see happening on those conservative platforms that are mega platforms. Patrick Bet-David has a mega platform, and when he was talking about it, it hit. Fox News got a mega platform. When he talks about it, it hit. You know,
What Patrick Bet-David say? He
you
said,
want me to pull it up? I can pull it up.
because I know he didn't hold his tongue.
I'll pull it
They
up.
aren't interesting people. When I think about people that are relatable, I don't think about Michelle Obama. For sure, don't think about her brother.
I didn't even know she
I,
had.
I, I, I
I
honestly
didn't
feel
either.
like I feel like it's bots, man.
I didn't even know she had.
100,000. When I was watching this morning, that shit was at 24. I don't even think it was at 24.
I'm about
No,
to pull it up right now.
it was at
Give me a second.
7,000.
That's what I'm saying.
I did
I don't
get
think
an
it's bots.
idea from what she said her mom did for her because my two older kids have alarm clocks. My two younger ones don't, and they said that they had alarm clocks when they were in kindergarten to wake themselves up. So I think I'm gonna get my two younger ones alarm clocks
Oh,
too.
that's
Let
Keri,
them
they were born in 1955.
learn.
We needed,
They have to
Let
wake up
them
for their
learn.
jobs.
This is Patrick Bet-David. I'm gonna just pull it from the beginning a little bit.
Let's do
There's this story about Michelle Obama starting a podcast. And I kind of want to go through this, Michelle Obama's podcast. And her and her brother, they started a podcast. They look like twins. If you want to, no, I'm actually not being sarcastic.
Yeah, well, if she
Rob,
got her-
what is this, Rob?
Where's her
This
brother?
is the announcement of the podcast.
Okay, play the clip. Maybe this will help out a little bit with subscribers. So go ahead and play the clip and actually go to the YouTube channel. Go to the YouTube channel of Michelle Obama's new podcast. Okay. So if you just go to YouTube and type in and go to their podcast, the IMO, Michelle Obama, there you go. Okay, watch this, folks. They've uploaded so far 4 clips. Okay. They've uploaded so far 4 clips. Can you go to the channel right there? So zoom in a little bit. 4 videos have been uploaded. They've done 1 episode and they have 17,700 subscribers.
Oh.
Let me kind of give you some perspective on what that means, Rob. Rob, can you go to one of the episodes? That one, just go to that one right there, okay?
Well,
So
she had
47,000
8,000
views is what
Tuesday.
it's got. Let's go to the comment section to see what the comments are saying.
Man.
Have they left it open or no?
Yeah.
Okay, zoom in a little bit, Rob. Remember when this guy drowned his chef in a lover's? Okay, wow, that's
Okay.
Came here
There you
for
go.
comments. Didn't watch the video. I paid IRS fine for 3 years in a row because your husband said I should pay for health care that I couldn't afford or else. They're going to have to disable comments next episode.
There it is.
The internet.
That's what I'm saying. I think that there's a lot of people that are trolling and hate watching. And that's where the boost came from the comments. I don't think that Black people or women or any of that shit is truly supporting her, because when people started catching wind of it, I caught it again 8 hours after. It was only like, a few thousand views or whatever for each video. And you can see the Issa Rae episode did way less. But now that there's a lot of people that are actually, going over there to see what the hell is going on, I don't think that she has an audience that's hidden. I think that there's a lot of people that are coming over from platforms like Patrick Bet-David and they're saying crazy. Look at that. Every comment is like hate and it's got a whole lot of likes. And those are all of the top comments. That is a very good gauge of whether or not people are truly rocking with you or they over there in order to troll you.
Yeah, it wasn't no positive comment. I saw one positive comment that said, I love Michelle Obama. That was it. Everything else was, it was bad. It was just brothers, guys, guys, brothers, guys. like Five Guys. Like it wasn't nothing about women. It was straight slander. It was nasty, man. I felt bad. I felt bad, honestly.
You the one that do it all the time. How you gonna feel bad?
It's different when I do it though, man. It ain't on nothing that she posts. She ain't gonna see that shit. She gotta look at that.
You will be surprised. People be checking to see all kind of stuff. Listen, when they did that Meg Thee Stallion documentary and they was posting all of my comments and shit, they was putting up stuff from my podcast and stuff. I was like, wait a minute. Like I'm telling you, people be watching everything that you say. I see, listen, plenty of people, NBA players have hit me up like, dog, I mean, can you cut this part out? Rappers have hit me up. Significant people have hit me up. People DM me all the time. People care. They care. I'm telling you. They don't think for 1 second that people ain't paying attention to what you say when you start talking about them. They absolutely care.
I'm about to go harder. No.
I'm telling you, it's a real thing. Seriously. They watch,
Damn,
they
that's
look at
fucked up.
themselves, they research themselves all the time. People care.
Damn, that's crazy, man. But she gonna feel that shit in the morning. Cause they ain't.
You don't think that they paying attention or somebody in their team is watching and seeing what's going on in the comments? You crazy.
Yeah, because they are. Yeah, they said it. They were like, "Please send us your questions. We want to hear your ideas. Tell us what's missing, what you want to hear, what you want us to ask about, discuss."
They might fuck around and cut that shit short
like,
because of the.
You better tell your people to speak up.
That shit gonna, man. Every episode, if it's slander like that shit gonna be bad.
Well, let's see how they do in the next few weeks.
Trash.
So again, I think that there's going to be a lot of hate watchers.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, and it's the same thing that I said on Tuesday. I don't know if it's gonna be hitting the way that everybody think that it is.
Yeah, they're gonna have to bring Obama.
I think your algorithm has a lot to do with what comments come to the forefront when you look it up. Because I was looking at this video, and this dude brought up this stuff, and all these comments were positive, and this other person brought up, and they were all negative.
That's not true. Like, the comments that are at the top commented are the ones that are the most liked, and also people that you may be subscribed to, right? So let's say, for example, if me and 2K on Instagram, right, and that it depends on the platform. If me and 2K follow each other on Instagram, because I don't really follow nobody, and I go to because they're gonna recommend stuff based off of the stuff that 2K watches and stuff and comments based off of your friends. So it's this big combination. And I see him comment on somebody, I'm going to see him first. However, on YouTube, it's different. On YouTube, the top comments show up first unless you filter it by the most recent.
Yeah, and I think it's something like if you've been on YouTube a certain amount of time too, like your comments go up to the top.
Well, you're gonna see your comment from yourself at the top, but
no, I'm saying well, it seemed like it was something that I was looking at, and they were saying like if you've been on YouTube for a certain amount of time, you start. I guess it was saying like you a top contributor. I don't know what it meant.
Oh yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it was like so your comments
basically if you're relevant and
you're visible. Yeah, your comments are more
and
visible.
you verified, it will be more relevant. But all of the comments on their page is from regular people, and then they get liked or disliked, and almost all of those comments are brutal. They are brutal.
Yeah, that's savagery, pure savagery.
So when the majority of the comments is like that, I know that it's interesting. It should be interesting. I'll just say that.
I just don't understand how they could sustain doing another season of this if it's only going to be hate watching. You know what I'm saying? If it's going to be more hate watching than anything. And then sooner or later,
just like The View.
No, sooner or later, people not going to comment. They're not going to go over there.
That's what I was about to say. They're not going to keep watching. I don't think the haters are going to keep watching.
Yeah,
I think they'll dwindle, and then the numbers.
You'll be surprised.
Will probably dwindle.
We will keep that thing going, even if they got to put the comments on limited or off.
Listen, people be over there at The View, like I can't wait for this shit to go away.
That's what I just said. It's gonna be like The View.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
I'm subscribed to The View. I mean, I do content, but I'm subscribed.
It's we in a different world. The world that we were introduced to Barack and Michelle Obama in is much different than the world that we live in today.
Yeah.
So
I like that comment that somebody put there that said your husband made me sign up. That was an awesome comment.
yeah.
Oh man.
Any final comments on Michelle Obama before we move over to the next thing?
Tomatoes.
Yeah, I do got a comment. Like, I wear comic book shirts and stuff like that. I was born in the 80s. This is the stuff that we lived on.
Oh no.
That's why I wear it. Like, goofball.
My
Don't matter my age. I'm gonna wear what the fuck I want to wear. What you wearing, nigga? A dirty ass t-shirt? Fuck you. All right, I'm done.
No, you're not, but it's okay.
I want to wish Michelle and her brother all the success and prosperity with their podcast.
Me too, Quentin. Me too.
See, I said that they be listening and shit, and now y'all want to start wishing people happy birthday.
I don't wish any bad will on my fellow Black people.
Amen to that.
Anybody else before we wrap up this subject?
Oh yeah, I do have to tell Quentin thank you.
I told you I take care of my niggas.
Appreciate you, partner.
Say what now, Quentin?
Today Slimmy's day today, nigga.
You did what? You took care of him. What was happening? What you do?
It was
a little Wagoneer popped up on him.
Yeah, little Wagoneer Falls. Wagoneer Falls.
Yeah, okay, never mind. Forget I asked.
See, I'm gonna be a little bit more mindful of time now because Keri got on my head the other day and was like, Anton said all right, cool, good. Tyler Perry be projecting that series he got on Netflix, Beauty and the Black, is unnecessarily gay for no reason.
Dude, that's I ain't gonna lie, that show is fire, nigga. Fuck what you heard, nigga.
Once you bend over or do the bending, you're gay, says Jerry. What in the hell is they talking about? Abe the Hunter says, we know who came up with the greens in the tub now. Craig face looked like a car. What?
It makes sense though. Like it makes sense.
What does a cough look like?
That nigga's not get it. I fucking get it.
What the fuck?
This is the dumbest chat ever. I hate this chat. This is a stupid chat.
Bro. Real. I had to let you know though, nigga.
Oh shit.
Oh my god. Mimi nailed it. Y'all some haters. They sound like two Quentins.
Fuck you, nigga.
This is like watching Tyler Perry in a room with Medea. The comments are in shambles on episode 1. Patrick Bet David said he thinks the reason for Michelle Obama podcast is so when the divorce stuff comes out, she'll have a platform to direct the narrative.
That's a fact.
Michelle is running in 2028 and she's doing this podcast to make herself more familiar and relatable to potential voters. She's trying to fix her rep. Is this the dawn of the new modern woman, Kevin Samuels? March 2025, shaking my head. Michelle is an old Gen X. They lost a ton of peeps to crack. Speak on that. That podcast is hot garbage on a 100-degree day in the summer. I think we are being overcritical of the podcast. Let them rock out until they actually want to do more. I think Michelle is trying to find herself. Leveraging someone else's success, claiming a win for feminism by transforming his accomplishments as your own. Classic. Without me, he wouldn't be. Yeah, I agree with that. I hate that shit. I hate when people try to act like, try to take credit for somebody else's success. I don't like that. That bothers me. It really does bother me. I don't like that at all.
You think she did that?
I think she does that on the low. I think she low key. Yes, I think she low key. That's the thing that bothers me the most about her is that I think that she low key tries to, and if you notice, as much as I don't like Obama, at the same time, I still respect him as a man, as a president, right? Because you don't see that happen with any other president except for Barack Obama. You don't see any other president's wife say, I played a role in his success, or without me, or I had to approve him running for president, or you don't hear that narrative. The only person you hear that from is from Michelle Obama. And when we see what's happening out in the sphere, women often at times will say, well, he didn't have nothing, or she was a lawyer without him and all of that shit. You don't see that happen with nobody else. No other major figure president have you ever seen it happen except for Barack Obama, ever. And she largely talks about, and she always mentions how she had to approve it, or she didn't like him at first, or he was irritating, or even in the podcast, you seen it. She talked about how he always laid and how he does better now and stuff. She low key,
well, she didn't say it like that though, Anton. That wasn't the
she
context.
did.
Like that. You don't hear nobody else's wife. No president in history, you don't hear none of their wives talk. Bill Clinton got head in the White House, and Hillary don't say shit.
She don't have no pot. She don't have a YouTube channel she's trying to start.
What do you mean?
So she has. I'm just saying.
Come on, Keri.
You don't hear it because they're not talking about it. No, I'm just saying. When I listened to it, I didn't take it like she was knocking Obama. I took it like she
throws shots at him all the time. He gets emasculated by her all the time. As relevant as he is, and again, I don't agree with him in the majority of what he did as president, but I respect him as a past president. He is the only one that gets emasculated.
I think because she's the most vocal. She's the most vocal first lady of all time down there, though. Too. I don't remember hearing this much from Hillary, like when Bill was actually in office, and it was like way after. You know what I'm saying? Like,
why do we give a fuck about what Michelle Obama?
Well, and Hillary ran for president, so we don't.
That's later.
Before we get off of her, why the fuck do we why do we care about what Michelle Obama thinks?
No one does.
Who said we care about what she thinks? I'm just saying.
We do. She's done whole book tours, wrote books, got a podcast. That's basically saying what she thinks.
Society have put Black women on a pedestal.
Well, no, I don't. Okay, sorry. I thought you were saying it in this conversation. You're now talking about the masses. Why do the masses care about what she thinks such that they would buy a book, go hear her speak type thing? That's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is her career, her visibility is only because she was married to Barack Obama. If she was never married to him, we would never give a fuck about her. On the flip side, she spends a lot of her time talking about how she didn't like him at first, or it's hard being married to him, or how she didn't approve of him running for president and shit. And my point is that she's always trying to take, and Black women a lot of times are always trying to make it seem like the majority of his success came from being married to her, as though it's not the other way around.
Okay, well, from watching that episode, from reading her book, and I think I saw like 1 or 2 conversations she had with Oprah. That's the few I've seen, so I can't speak about anything else. That's not the impression that I got. Now, that's why when she did all what she did in this election, I was so shocked, because it seemed like a total flip in how she had been carrying herself all this time to now she did emasculate him, and he kind of followed suit. That's one of the biggest things that shocked me with both of them. But prior to that, that's not the impression.
What is he going to say? Barack Obama is stuck between a rock and a hard place because he can't correct her publicly, right? And in a way, he kind of has to go along with whatever the flow is, because she can get away with fumbling and he kind of sort of got to clean up her mess because he still has to maintain a level of prestige. He has to maintain a level of, decorum. Like, even with her not showing up to certain shit, he has to answer for that.
No, I agree with you. And I'm not saying that to say that he should have said something, did something. I'm saying that to me is when I saw both of them publicly act differently than what I have been accustomed to seeing them, how I have been accustomed to seeing them act previously. That's what
So
I'm
you
saying.
don't think that the things that she says in her behavior is detrimental, emasculating, and low-key throw shots at Barack Obama for the entirety of the time that she's been visible?
No, I didn't start getting that until recently when she started being vocal. In this particular interview with her, I mean, in the conversation with her brother, no, I didn't get that because the context. She put the context on the table about the Barack being late because they were talking about their parents. They were talking about how that helped the whole alarm clock thing. All of that helped them to be on time because to be on time was to be early. And then she talked about Obama. She talked about her girls. So I didn't take that as a shot at Barack. And even with him running for office, I mean, I get it. In fact, when she said that
What about the turkey
Obama,
part?
the turkey part about
The girls getting tired of going with him to the turkey cut, to the part in the turkey.
I will say that when she started to be
I
like
listened to it too.
When she started to be like, the girls were like, oh, your corny jokes, all of that stuff. It felt like she was starting to get into more of a comfortable space of maybe the dynamic of how it really is. I don't know if that's good or bad with them, their daughters, with him, but I will say that it started to feel like she was getting a little comfortable there. But in general, I did not take it like she was emasculating Obama.
Does
In
she
this
ever talk
particular
about
episode.
anything happy that she likes doing with him?
No.
I've never heard anything.
She does not talk about him in a positive light. She does
Because
not.
I don't listen to Michelle Obama. So anytime I've ever heard her, it's always he's slow, he's stupid, he got 2 left feet.
She said
Man,
he's
what?
stupid. See, I've
listen.
never heard her say
She
that
does not
he's
talk
stupid.
about.
I've never heard
Okay,
that.
so she doesn't
She
outright.
don't
Okay,
talk about
Keri,
Obama
you know
in a
PR.
positive light.
She doesn't
Keri.
outright say he's stupid. She goes the roundabout way and saying, I had to teach him how to do this and
Yep.
go hit. That's saying you're dumb.
Yep. She makes it seem like, even with the whole being on time thing, she was like, and he's gotten better over time with that. It's almost like she's pulling this nigga along, and you know what I'm saying? She tries to do it in a way in which it's like, I'm being gentle, like I'm not actually saying anything negative, but I always take it as a slight. I take it as a slight. Fuck the president shit. Fuck the Democrat versus Republican thing. I take it as a man. I take it as a slight. I just take it. I don't hear her ever say anything nice about. He always exalt her. He has always exalted her and put her up on a pedestal. And Michelle is coming, and she's much smarter than me, and all of this other type of thing. She don't do that with him. That's my interpretation of it. Watching the dynamics and seeing the way that she speaks.
Because she can't do that though, Anton.
Said that he had to come to him. Obama had to come to him to get him to talk to her to be okay with him running for president of the United States.
What's funny is when they said that, I was like, Anton's going to catch this one. I know he's going to catch this part.
Yeah, Obama had to come to me and talk to me, and I said, "What's going on, O?" And he's like, "Hey, I need you to talk to Michelle about me running for president." And then Craig goes, "About you doing what?" I'm like, "What the fuck is this? A grown man? What are you talking about?"
And then
he's talking about, "Yeah, I had to convince her because I didn't want her to resent him or to limit what he really truly had going on."
But nonetheless, I think that was the truth. I think it was the truth though. And when they told them, no, it clearly was the truth, because as they kept telling the story, because she also said my mom was against it too. And as they told the story, Craig said that Michelle and the mom, they were like mad, but they said, you're right. So technically, even though that was how it was, she did acknowledge that she had to practice what she was preaching. She had to like follow along and support her
Why
man.
is
So
why is she the only fucking wife of the president of the United States of America, the only former first lady that had these problems? Which is one of the reasons why there's a negative picture and a negative stereotype, in my opinion, that's attached to black women. Because whether you all the way up to the president of the United States of America or John that's over here working in the factory, it's the same story, and it's the same thing that's affirming that women, often at times, black women specifically, are the head of the household, and they're emasculating their man, and they're ultimately dragging them, and you got to seek approval from them. And woe is me, and they, you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing, and it's aggravating because it's like, damn, the former president can't even get no respect from a woman.
No,
That's
and
how I look at it.
Yeah,
He was going to
it
be
is
great
a narrative.
without her anyway, though. He was
I
going to be
believe
great
so.
without her because I was learning about him back when he was a senator, and he was a big deal, and nobody was talking
that's
about
because they had
Michelle.
already picked him.
Yes, he was
The guy
already. It
that
wasn't.
sent
You
him
didn't
up,
hear
I don't
about
even
Michelle
want to go. I
until
don't want to get
afterward.
to the. I don't want to
he
get
was
to
already
the.
he was already gonna get there.
It
But
doesn't.
the only
But
reason
he
Michelle
was.
got into the situation is because he's running. So technically, she's lucky that he picked her.
Yeah.
But that's not the narrative that's being sold. The narrative is always he's lucky to that she picked him.
But
People
it's
need
not
to look
exactly
into
that
their
way
past a
because
little bit more.
unfortunately, if you're going to sell to Democratic women, that is the narrative. You have
That's
to
true.
be a strong woman, and you're the one running the household. You're the boss, happy wife, happy life, and your man sit in the corner. He don't say nothing, and eventually he just ends up cheating on you because he's tired of you anyway, and you're divorced like she about to be anyway.
He was going to be great with or without her. It has nothing to do with her. I've been learning about him for a long time before he ran for president, when he was still a senator, and he was great, and nobody was talking about Michelle.
Meanwhile, Melania is on everything, and when Trump goes, she getting everything. And half of the time I don't even know what Melania likes, talks about, what nothing. I don't know nothing about Melania, and I like
She
it that way.
plays her
She
role.
speaks like
Yeah.
fucking 7 languages.
Correct. But I wouldn't know that unless I have to go look. I can tell you a bunch of stuff about Michelle Obama because
She's in the way all the time.
How was it?
She
Well,
wants to be the president. She wants to be the man. I don't.